The story begins inside a spaceship in outer space, in front of a planet. The captain of the ship asks her crew member. Sunja assures her that the location is correct since the planet in front of them, identified as planet number, is their exact destination, Earth. Another crew member, Robert, finds the situation strange, as he's sure they're in the right place. But the planet is drenched in radiation with no trace of oxygen. The captain can't believe that a high-value criminal, a high-ranking member of the Black Blood Gang, is supposedly hiding in a place so devoid of oxygen. She's quite annoyed, thinking Robert gave her false intel. However, Robert insists it's true, as the information was obtained when Hound raided the main system of the beggar sect. The captain then asks Sunja what he thinks about the intel. Sunja replies while doing repairs, noting that if Hound really came to Earth, it would likely be to commit suicide, as Earth's oxygen saturation is at 23.76%, with a radiation contamination level of 87 CTS, making it a perfect place for dying. The captain asks if it's possible for a human to survive there. Sunja replies that with a top-notch radiation shield and a high-capacity internal energy drive that spans multiple cycles, maybe they could last for about 6 hours. The captain then seriously asks Robert if he's willing to put his life on the line for this intel. Robert hesitates, realizing he can't risk his life so easily. But the captain isn't interested in his answer. She tells him that if the criminal isn't there, he'd be in big trouble. Just then, Sunja mentions that he's detected human life below the Earth's surface. Deciding to proceed with the criminal hunt, Robert and the captain head to Earth, leaving Sunja in charge of protecting the ship and providing intel. When they arrive, they find that Earth has become a wasteland, devoid of life. They stand at a location known as Manga, and the captain is surprised to see this legendary mountain before her. Sunja informs her that this is the origin of the Mount the Star system, a place the old martial artists from the Martial Alliance once called a legendary sanctuary. The captain is skeptical, viewing the area as a mere trash dump. She sarcastically wonders why the so-called old geezers of the Martial Alliance don't clean their sacred ground. Robert remarks that they'd never do anything unprofitable, as they're all talk and no action. Sunja then informs the captain through her earpiece that she's standing at the exact spot where life was detected. The captain kneels down, places her hand on the ground, and prepares to investigate. Robert, curious, asks what she's planning, and she responds, noting that if anyone was buried here, they'd have suffocated long ago. Activating her internal energy drive, the captain creates an explosion that uncovers a deep hole. Robert, covered in dust, complains that she should give him a heads up next time. She then asks Sunja if there's still a sign of life, to which he replies that the life signal is faint but still present, and that there's a large space below. Robert suggests they use an electronic ladder, but the captain, undeterred, dives into the hole, prompting Robert to follow. Inside, they find a large door with a sentence written by someone named Li Muchin. Robert has no idea what it says, so the captain asks Sunja to translate. He tells them it's an ancient language, around 2,000 years old, and the words roughly mean, "The world fears me and has imprisoned me with the great Dharma teachings. If you clumsily try to awaken me, death will greet you first." The captain deems it a warning but sees it as a good sign, reasoning that if someone took the effort to seal the door with such a warning, there might be something valuable inside. Ignoring the threat, she pushes the door open. Inside, they find something sitting atop a staircase. Though it appears human, they can't be sure. The captain, curious, climbs the stairs to examine it. The figure is covered in a thick beard and sits with crossed legs. Robert asks if it's alive or human, doubting it could be alive after 2,000 years. The captain doesn't answer. She extends a finger, touching the figure's nose. At first, nothing happens, but suddenly, an electric spark surprises her. Feeling an intense bloodlust from the figure, she quickly activates her magic power to counterattack. However, a powerful outburst of energy erupts, reaching beyond Earth and nearly damaging their ship. Sunja, confused, asks the captain what's happening, but receives no response. Inside the room, covered in dust, the captain coughs up blood, injured from the explosion. In front of her lies Robert, unconscious. The mysterious figure appears before her and demands, "Who are you? Who dares awaken me?" The captain, still in shock, doesn't answer. The figure wonders aloud if she has come to challenge him, questioning if a martial artist capable of such a feat has finally appeared. He commands her to speak and demands to know why she awakened him. She activates real-time translation mode, but he raises his hand, ready to kill her if she doesn't respond. Realizing his intent, she activates her powers to block his attack. Their clash is intense, and though she manages to block it, she's left exhausted with no strength for another. Her system warns her that her drive is overloaded, and she's told to recharge her energy. The figure criticizes her, identifying her skills as the Quantum, Golden Summit Divine Art and the Red Mist Divine Palm Arts of the Emma sect, but claims her techniques are impure, suggesting she learned them through theft. Furious, he floats upward, furious that a mere thief dared disturb his eternal sleep. The captain, frozen in fear, is helpless, but to her surprise, the figure suddenly collapses. Robert, regaining consciousness, speculates that the figure likely succumbed to radiation exposure without a shield. Sunjo, however, informs them that the figure is still alive, with normal breathing and a steady pulse. The captain, curious, wonders why he collapsed. Sunja explains that the figure likely fainted from energy depletion, essentially starving after 2,000 years. Some hours later, aboard their ship, Robert is shocked to find the figure on board. He scolds the captain for bringing the monster instead of leaving it behind, likening it to a radioactive cockroach but without any value. The captain, however, insists it's worth a fortune. She explains that ancient martial arts are highly valued, especially those close to the original form, with even low-grade techniques from that era fetching high prices. Judging by the circumstances, she suspects the figure is a martial artist from 2,000 years ago, a period when martial arts reached their peak. She estimates his skills to be S rank or higher, a level worth a fortune. Robert, stunned, considers the potential wealth if the figure truly is S rank, but he worries about what happens if the figure awakens. The captain confidently assures him that she's downed him with celestial silkworm thread used for spaceship repairs, which even the head of the Shaolin sect couldn't cut. But, to their horror, the figure easily breaks free. Furious, he exudes a terrifying killing intent and declares, "How dare you lowly, grave-robbing thieves try to desecrate me? I will tear you to shreds." The captain and Robert immediately prepare to defend themselves, but to their surprise, Sunjo appears before the figure with a tray. The group watched in disbelief as the man, once brimming with anger, began devouring the sausages with an intensity they had never seen. His fury was replaced by a strange calm, though he munched aggressively, seemingly channeling his earlier rage into the meal. The crew stood cautiously at a distance, unsure what to make of him. The captain finally broke the silence, turning to Sunja. "How did you even come up with this idea?" Sunja shrugged casually. "He's been starving for a long time. The best solution for a hungry beast is food sausages, in this case." Hours later, the captain sat down with the stranger to explain everything. "Look, we're not grave robbers," she began, her tone firm but wary. "We're bounty hunters. We stumbled across your resting place by accident and woke you up. Now you're here, and you need to understand something. This is the world. 2,000 years after your time." The man's expression darkened as he glared at her. 2,000 years? You think I believe such nonsense? It's the truth, she replied sharply. Humans destroyed the world after countless wars. They abandoned Earth's surface and built a new civilization in the skies to prevent another catastrophe. Weapons were outlawed, yes, even nuclear weapons. Instead, we rely solely on martial arts. This era is now the galactic calendar year 1105. The man's brows furrow in confusion. Galactic? Are you saying you all live in the sky now? Yes, the captain replied bluntly. You're lucky you woke up now. After everything humanity's been through, you should be grateful. His eyes flashed with anger. Grateful? Watch your tongue, woman. Do you dare speak to me in such a manner? Do you wish to die? His voice boomed with authority. You're nothing but third-rate grave robbers. How dare you lie to me? The crew quickly pointed to the window, urging him to look outside. Just see for yourself, they shouted in unison. The man turned reluctantly and froze. Outside, he saw what was left of Earth, a barren, ruined wasteland. Nothing like the vibrant world he once knew. The captain walked up behind him and, with a mix of pity and firmness, placed a hand on his head. Now that you've seen it, do you believe us? The man exhaled deeply, his voice heavy with disbelief. Even if I want to believe you, I can't. How could the land I once walked on be round? The captain sighed, her patience waning. You're astonishingly ignorant, you know that. Suddenly, Robert sniffed the air and grimaced. What's that smell? The captain pinched her nose. It's him. Look, we can explain everything else later. Right now, you need a bath, and while you're at it, trim your hair. We're going to be stuck together for a while, and I refuse to deal with that stench. The man looked puzzled. A bath? Yes, a bath. The captain repeated, exasperated. Just clean yourself up. Hours later, the crew stood outside the bathroom door, waiting nervously. I think we should have just left his hair as it was, Robert muttered. Who knows what might crawl out of there? The door creaked open, and the crew's jaws collectively dropped. The man stepped out, his long hair washed and trimmed, revealing a strikingly handsome face and a sculpted, muscular physique. He dried his hair with a towel and looked at them. Is there more of that food from earlier? The captain blinked in shock. Who are you?